10 years, an icon on Rubbin minds. The Ebuka Obi has done it all. It's been 12 years since he started this show. And, you know, he has done hundreds of viral interviews. We're talking about leading pioneered conversations on the show. And he has shown the world that there is no limit to the extent of his talent. The Ebuka Obi, I'm so excited to talk to you. I mean, you're smiling right now. Are you surprised?
Because I have a cold, and I was trying to, but I am quite surprised. But I saw the earpiece in your ear, and I
yeah, and you knew already. I mean, but 10 years on stage, 10 years here. Congratulations to you, an icon.
Thank you. It was 10 years on the 6th of January.
Okay.
And I remember my very first show and how nervous I was. I tried to look for it on YouTube a few days ago, but I couldn't find it. Thankfully, I'm hoping it gets scrubbed off the internet. But yeah, 10 years has been quite a ride. I started off the show at a time when I had no experience of live television, and live television is completely different from anything. If you work on TV, you produce content, you know that live television is completely
different,
a different ballgame. So it was quite a challenge at the start, but I always say it's probably my favorite show to do these days.
Are you serious?
I enjoy it. Nothing teaches me lessons and just general knowledge more than this show.
I mean, very true, because you talk to a wide range of people.
I have to know something about everything.
Very true.
So.
No, but you know, I thought about it, and when I was told for the first time that you were 10 years, you've done 10 years here, first thing I said to myself was, you come here every Sunday, and I want to know every time you walk through that door, what's on your mind? Do you go, oh, again, we're doing this?
I think it's so, I've gotten so into the show now that I don't even get into the zone until I'm seated here, which is probably like 10 minutes or 5 minutes to the show. Then I sit down. Of course, I get the rundown before I get here. I kind of have an idea what I'm going to be talking about. And it's always a diverse set of conversations, from politics to sports to entertainment to personalities, interviews, or whatever it is. So I have gotten into the groove over the years because now I kind of know what to do. Yeah. I know how to handle live television when I'm speaking and the director is screaming in my ear, or someone is walking past behind the camera. In the past, I would be distracted by that. But now, so it's kind of like second nature for me.
Yeah, because I'm trying to navigate that right now. Because I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? You know, because I'm very tensed. I'm like, this live TV, I don't think I've ever done that before. And I know 10 years. But when you took the job and you walked through this door, did you know you were going to do 10 years?
Not at all. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I came in, I was unemployed. Let me say that first of all. I had been unemployed for about over a year because I just finished my master's, came back to Nigeria before I had this great conversation with Chude, who said, you know,
let's start a show.
Do this. Yeah. So I came in not knowing exactly what it was going to become, but I love interviewing people, so I knew I was going to enjoy it. I didn't know that I was going to enjoy it for this long. So the whole idea was come in, get in the groove, get a few personality interviews going, and then see where it ends up. There are people who keep wondering, oh, wow, I can't believe you've done this for this long.
Yes.
Either they thought I would have left at some point.
No, because that's the first thing I said. I said, if I was going to come here 10 years, every day, every Sunday, I'm not sure.
Religiously. And to my producers, I've never gotten a time off. I only am not on the show if I'm not able to make it. I've never had a time where they say, Ebuka, okay, you're on leave.
You're on leave. No, but I mean, now you deserve that rest.
Please help me tell them, because every time I have to say, oh, I can't be there, they're like, So we have to now we have to pre-record. And I think I don't complain about it, honestly, because I enjoy doing it. I mean, now that I'm married, the first 3-4 years I did it for, I was single. After getting married, it does take away sometimes from Sunday time with family. But I think my family has also adjusted to the fact that, okay, we see you in the morning, then we see you in the evening. So it kind of works.
I mean, you've seen everybody work through here. You've seen people come and go. I mean, and you've talked to so many people. What makes it different every time you have to talk to someone new?
I think every time I meet someone who because I'm human, I think we're all human, you have perceptions of your guests before they come and sit down. You kind of have a belief of what they would sound like, or what their beliefs would be, or what their opinions would be. So I'm always excited when people surprise me, hopefully mostly good. But yeah, I've had a few people who have come here, I thought they were going to be a certain way, and I'm just like, oh, wow, you are quite intense, or quite diverse, or quite deep with your thoughts. So that always excites me, and I get that almost every Sunday. Yeah,
true, but I mean that's fair. But the younger generation, all of us, we look up to you. You've done it all. You've shown us that we can, break every band, just reach every height, and we're so proud of you, literally. And you were talking about navigating each conversation, and I know you've been friends with a lot of people you've spoken to here, right? And very interesting. I don't know if you know what I'm about to say right now, but I know that some of the conversations have affected some of your friendships and relationship. 9 years ago, someone walked off. Someone walked off from this stage right now.
Yes.
How was that?
So yes, I've had a few people. I mean, in the past, I used to be quite intense with the way I asked questions.
Yeah.
I still am, but I think...
And you did it in such a subtle way.
Yeah, I think maturity now has made it a lot more subtle, but I still am able to get the information I want out of the person. But in the past, I used to be quite intense and direct, and it did affect a few relationships. The one you're talking about was with Toke Makinwa.
Yeah, exactly.
Who I had a conversation with here. Was it 9 or 10 years ago? She came, and as soon as I said, thanks for joining us, have a good Sunday, she yanked the earpiece from her ear and walked off. And we laugh about it now. She didn't talk to me for a couple of months.
I mean, you really work together after that.
But, old things have passed away.
And behold.
And we're very good friends now. We laugh about it.
I mean, you even say on sets with Big Brother.
Yes.
And, I want to know, how have you been able to differentiate and distinct, these two separate entities, Rubbin Minds, Big Brother? And you came from Big Brother yourself. You did Big Brother, and you've been able to carve a niche for yourself and, be that icon and legend that everybody looks up to. And no. Come on, you know. I mean, but really, how have you been able to distinct both platforms?
So when I started Rubbin Minds in 2013, a few months down the line, I became the co-host on a different show on Ebony Live TV at the time called The Spot. So I think that sort of
I'm not that old. I watched that one.
So I think that prepared me for where I was going. I had to now navigate two completely different shows at the same time on air. And then a lot of other shows have also come up along the way, which I've had to sort of separate myself or have different personalities on. Right now, I do Rubbin Minds, I do Big Brother, I do a show called Judging Matters, which is a courtroom-based show. Yep. I also have a podcast radio thing called The Black Box as well. So, but when I come here, right, I keep a completely open mind, because I learn, like I say, I come here and I learn the most. I have a guest who's a neurosurgeon. I have no idea what that is about. I have to just keep an open mind and, understand where they're coming from. Or I have a politician who's been a politician for 30 years. No matter what I know by reading or by watching stuff, they are experienced in that. So I come here with a very open mind, and it helps me to sort of navigate my job here. It's quite tough sometimes, to be honest, to separate them, especially scheduling. I think that's the toughest part of it, the timing of things, which sometimes things overlap or crossover, and then one has to suffer for the other. But with regards to delivery, I think most times when I'm in a space, I kind of just sip into what that space requires, and it works for me. I mean,
and we see it on social media, and we're like, oh, you do.
That's
right, that's the interview. That's the interview right there. If you're watching right now, hi. I mean, but, every young person looks up to you, really, Ebuka, and I want to know what's your advice to any young person who is watching right now.
I like how you say young. I'm young.
No, but you understand what I'm saying.
I know, I'm just kidding.
If you had 10 years to my life right now, if you had 10 years to my age.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So it depends on what career path you're trying to choose. With these times are quite different from when I started. I did my first TV show completely in 2006. It was a show on NTA at the time. It was a game show. And back then, you had 3, 4, 5 TV channels that you could work with. There was nothing like podcasting or vlogging or content creation. You know, now there's a lot more variety or a lot more options for you to explore. So then the fight was more trying to get on a platform. These days it's more trying to create your brand. If you can't get on a platform and see where things take you. So I think I'm also learning from you guys, to be honest, because it's a completely different time and it's just how you guys go for it. Back then, I don't know that a lot of us could have just woken up and said, yeah, I want to start something.
Sure.
Maybe because the platforms were not there. But so I'm also learning from that. But I think most importantly, what I would say to a lot of people who are starting off in whatever career it is right now is to understand that some of these things might not always work as quickly as you think. I have a lot of conversations with people in their mid to early 20s, and sometimes I'm honestly disheartened by some of the things I hear, you know, that the aspiration to own certain things before I'm 25, or to be at a certain point in my career at a certain age, you know. There's this belief that by the time you're 30, the world is over. Oh my God, at 30, I haven't done anything. At 30, I wasn't working. I had no job at 30. I can look at it now and laugh. But I had worked from 23 to 28. I was having a good run. I had 3 TV shows on at a time at one point. At 28, I moved to the United States to go get a master's degree. I came back and I was unemployed for a year and a half. Like literally, I had no job. I wasn't making any money. So the idea that you have to be this person,
there's so much
this
pressure
thing at a certain age, I think the pressure is a lot. I don't know that it's ever going to go away because we live in a world now that everything is in your face. So it's harder to look away or fight it. But it's just to understand that things sometimes take time. Some people might make it in a week or in a year, and then your lower can blow up in 1 year or 2 years. But not everybody's story is going to be that way. It's probably going to take you a little longer. But when you hit it, you might hit even bigger than the person who did it in a year.
Sure.
So that's just that's one thing I think I see recurring in young people.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you because even me, I get pressure sometimes. You know, I just start in the new year and you're thinking to yourself, what can you do that's better? What can you use to beat that? You know, it takes a time out of you to just be patient and, you know, relax and say to myself, okay, I'm still young. I still got a long way to go. I mean, in all of these shows that you've done so many shows. I would want to know, what's your favorite show so far? The one that keeps recurring in your memory and you say, oh, I really enjoyed this one.
For different reasons. But first of all, the very first show I ever did, which was Friend for Foe, I always just say, I feel so bad for the producers because I learned my work there on everything. Then, of course, for live television, I learned live television on this show. And I'm forever grateful for that. I work with amazing people, the crew. Some of them I've been with over these last 10 years. They've watched me grow and advised me along the way. So for that, I'm very grateful as well. I mean, shows like Big Brother give me a completely different outlook. You know, the audience is different. It's probably younger. It's more continental. So for different reasons, but I keep saying, and I say that anywhere, that Rubbin Minds has been my biggest teacher. And I never take that for granted, whether it's how to interview people, whether it's how to interact with people, how to handle live television, my career growth as a whole. It's one of the reasons why I'm still here, because every Sunday I come here, I know I'm going to go away with something, as annoying as my producers can be sometimes, but I come here and I'm always very grateful for the lessons
for the lessons you've learned. And you know, you mentioned your producers now, and I'm quite, 2 of them who are my friends. One is my close friend, and one, you know, I see more as a mentor. And they said I should ask you this question backstage, and I want to know now, who is your favorite producer amongst these two?
Definitely Sheon.
Wow, I'm so sorry, Desmond.
Desmond, I have a bone to pick with you. Desmond is a good guy, I have to say. He's young, he's come into his own. In the last year, I've watched him grow. But we're still, you know, learning from each other, how to handle each other. But I'm very excited for where he's going. You know, I know that he had a passion for on-air work. I'm hearing that it's sort of pivoted to more production. And I'm excited for where he's going to go with that. Sheon, on the other hand, I've worked with much longer.
A long time.
You know, almost throughout my entire stay on this show. He doesn't have our time anymore. He's a big man now. I'm very grateful for how much we have grown together to where this show has become. But Desmond and Shewan, and everybody who's passed through this show. Temisan, your friend, was once an associate producer on the show. We've had so many people who have passed through this
so many people
sort of channel
to
where they are today.
I love it. Now you're mentioning so many people have worked through this place, and so many people, I've learned so much from you and, working here. And I want to know, what's your own greatest lesson from working here in these 10 years? What lesson would always remain in your mind?
I think the one big lesson, and I say that because I learn that almost every Sunday, is never judge a book by its cover. And I think it's very important for Nigerians or human beings as a whole, because I've been guilty of that a lot of times where I've had a guest, and I just sort of assumed
because of what you've heard about them,
what I've heard about them, or what I think about them, and then it surprised me every Sunday. Yep. So I think that's my biggest lesson.
I like it. I don't know why I was expecting something really deep.
That's it.
And that's very interesting to you and really good, because now you've spoken to so many people, and I want to know what interview is always at the back of your mind. I wonder what you would probably say. This is my favorite. I remember this one.
Oh. Three different scenarios. One, we had a youth debate before the 2015 elections, and everybody who was on that debate is sort of a big name now in politics. And I'm very proud of the fact that we showcased them on Rubbin Mind, so I like that. Reminisce, I always talk about him, the artist. He was one of those people who I wasn't sure what I was going to expect from him, but he's come here twice, and the 2 times he's been here, he completely blew me away. Last but not least, for a very interesting reason I can't completely disclose, but it was Asari Dokubo, who was known as a militant at the time, or a Niger Delta activist, and is a politician now. And his persona on air and off air was quite different and exciting. I was just like, oh, interesting. We see him as this guy who's very fierce. But off air, he was quite personable, and it was quite interesting to see that. So I see that quite often as well.
Would you say that was one of your hardest interviews to do?
It was quite, I had to prepare really tough for it, because I wasn't sure what to expect from him, But it went very well, and I remember that very well. It was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand now. So, you've done so many interviews, and you've done so many things. And what's the preparation process like before you get before your action?
I get a rundown from the producers, and then I kind of do my research as well for what I think would be timely for the occasion. But most of my producers do quite a bit of work, but I also do my research, especially when it's a personal interview, because you need to make the person feel comfortable and make them feel like you know them, so that you're not asking unfamiliar questions. But it takes quite a process.
So what are you saying to the next 10 years now?
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. All right, it was really lovely speaking to you, Ebuka. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so honored. I learn from you every time, and it was really lovely to be here.
Thank you very much for doing this, and I'm very proud of you as well, and I can't wait to see you do even more amazing things.
Thank you. Thank you.